Siren. So since, by the way, everybody say hey to Siren in the chat. So Siren, I've been trying to balance out playing instead of just having me sitting here talking because I don't want to bore anybody to death. But I was just venting my frustrations about this whole debacle between the hardcore, like the hardcore competitive side when it comes to rollback netcode, and the casuals. Because I'm not gonna say who, because I'm not about all of this directed mess and all this. Like, hey, this person on this video did this. I'm not about that mess. I make this channel mostly. It's aside from like having fun and stuff like that. I intend for this channel to be like, I guess what they call infotainment. I want it to be educational somewhat, albeit educational when it comes to fighting games, whatever you might want to call that. But nevertheless, I've seen people talking about, like somebody legit was talking about, you can't be spamming freaking SNK rollback on the SNK Twitter, you'll get banned. It's like, as long as nobody is legitimately like, if nobody is spamming like an idiot, like just completely just flooding the mess, like a lot of people love to do on like these freaking shit posting sites, or whatever you want to call them, or forums, whatever you know what it is. As long as somebody's not doing that, as long as they're not doing anything like doxing, any type of harassment, there is nothing wrong with people constantly voicing and hashtagging SNK rollback at the company. Somebody legit got mad about that. Now, maybe they saw a certain something, but when I looked at the SNK rollback hashtag like about an hour ago, I saw people giving legitimate reasons as to why it's needed. People saying there's not a lot of people that I know that, you know, like SNK games, KOF or whatnot. And people love to throw that line. It's like, well, you just got to introduce them to it, you know? It's like, maybe they just don't like it. People sometimes just don't naturally like things. You can't make people like things. You can't. You cannot. There are people, like somebody on there, like on Twitter, I'm not going to say their name then. Like if you look in the SNK rollback hashtag on Twitter, you'll find it. This person was talking about they live in a very small town, not a lot of people there, they don't have locals, but yet they saw KOF as like an escapism. They love the game, the characters, all types of stuff. And they were able to share that love by playing with other people online, inspiring like to get better. And that's why they want rollback netcode. What is wrong with that reasoning? I think that's solid reasoning. I think that is solid reasoning. And if you're wondering, Siren, why I didn't like say this for the Shattering, I feel like I've talked too much about rollback on the Shattering. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say here. I really don't. We're not talking about like stuff that is subjective, okay? We're not talking about the fact that, oh my goodness, in KOF 15, Mai doesn't have the boobage that she could, and there is no physics and all this other stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a matter of functionality. That's what we're talking about. Simple. That's what we're talking about. I don't get that. And it's like people always want to throw the casual players when we talk about rollback netcode. The want for people that want rollback netcode, the call for a good netcode in KOF 15 is not going to obsolete arcade, story, training, survival, whatever you might say. Single player content will always be there. Like I said earlier, I did not major in business. But I do know, in most cases, as long as it's within reason, I'm going to try to appeal to both camps, hardcores and casuals, the best that I can. This right here is not hard. And sometimes it kind of annoys me when people like when people keep constantly talking about, like when people are discussing the importance, the need the need for a good netcode, like the reason why we want it so bad. They come in like we're discussing it, and somebody comes in like, well, I don't really care about online play, I play offline and blah blah blah. Okay, you're good then. And that's not me saying like, you know, your opinion doesn't matter. It's just the fact that seeing where you stand, you're not really part of this conversation. Unless somebody is out there talking about the need for rollback netcode, and for some reason they got hopped up on some stupid juice and sat there and said, "We want rollback netcode and get rid of that stupid worthless arcade mode, that freaking training mode, that freaking survival mode ain't worth nothing." If you find that person, then by all means, have at them. I know about the casual audience. I know casuals. Plenty. Plenty. But it's like every time we bring up rollback netcode, they always talk about us excluding the casuals. Aren't you excluding the hardcore base? The competitive base? When you talk about rollback netcode is useless to be talking about? Rollback netcode is not worth it? It's not a big deal? You're being exclusionary by saying that right here. And like I've said, this is an instance where we can have the best of both worlds. We can. And if somebody's prerogative is that they will not buy KOF 15 because of rollback net, like, whether or not it has rollback netcode, that's on them.